Hollywood sells dreams in red carpets and champagne flutes. They lit up the screen, stole every scene, and made fame look effortless. But behind the velvet curtain, temptation was always pouring. One drink became a habit, the party became a trap, and the bottle, Hollywood's ugliest co-star, cashed the final check, leaving careers broken, bodies ruined, and legends reduced to warnings. Cheers? Not exactly. Ryan Dunn. Ryan Dunn didn't just walk into danger. He practically shook its hand, cracked a joke, and turned it into television as one of the wild faces of Jackass. He made pain look funny, chaos look cool, and bad decisions look like primetime entertainment on screen. He was fearless, outrageous, and magnetic, the guy fans watched because he seemed willing to do what everyone else was too smart or too scared to try. And in 2011, Ryan Dunn's off-screen life crossed a line that no stunt could survive. After a night of drinking, Dunn got behind the wheel of his Porsche with his friend Zach Hartwell beside him. The car was moving at a terrifying speed when control vanished in seconds. The fun-loving rebel who built a career laughing in the face of risk became the center of a tragedy that stunned fans across America. The cruel twist? Ryan had survived some of the dumbest, wildest stunts ever filmed, but alcohol and reckless speed were more dangerous than anything MTV ever aired. Fame made him look untouchable. The party made it feel harmless, but the bottle had other plans. Ryan Dunn's story is not just Hollywood tragedy. It's a warning sign flashing in neon. Danger may look entertaining on screen, but in real life, it doesn't care how famous, funny, or loved you are. Oliver Reed. Oliver Reed was not just an actor. He was a walking thunderstorm in a velvet jacket, on screen. He had the kind of presence Hollywood loves to sell. Intense eyes, raw power, and a voice that could make even silence feel dangerous. In films like Women in Love and later Gladiator, Reed didn't simply play characters. He charged into them like a man kicking down the door of cinema itself. But off-screen, the danger was not scripted. Reed was famous for drinking like it was an Olympic sport. And somehow, for years, the legend survived the lifestyle. Hollywood called it wild. The tabloids called it entertaining. But alcohol was quietly sharpening the knife behind the curtain. In 1999, while filming Gladiator in Malta, Oliver walked into a bar called The Pub with his wife, friends, and crew members. What looked like another afternoon of laughter and drinks turned into his final scene after heavy drinking. He suddenly collapsed. Friends tried to save him. An ambulance rushed in, but the mighty Oliver Reed never made it back. The cruel irony? Gladiator was supposed to be his grand comeback. Instead, alcohol stole the spotlight one last time. Reed had the talent, the charisma, and the fire to dominate the screen, but the bottle proved to be the one opponent he could not outact, outdrink, or outlive. Gig Young. Gig Young looked like the kind of man Hollywood was built to manufacture. Smooth smile, polished charm, and just enough sadness behind the eyes to make audiences lean closer. He had the talent, the style, and the ultimate golden ticket, an Academy Award for They Shoot Horses. Don't they? On screen, he could play the charming gentleman, the wounded soul, the man who seemed to have life under control, but off screen, Control was exactly what he was losing. Behind the tuxedos and applause, alcohol was slowly turning his life into a danger zone. It did not arrive like a monster in a horror movie. It came dressed as a drink after work, a Hollywood habit, a way to calm the nerves. Then it stayed. The more he drank, the more unstable his world became. His moods shifted. His behavior grew unpredictable. Directors saw him as a risk. Producers stopped trusting him. And in Hollywood, once they stopped calling. The silence is louder than any bad review. His personal life cracked too. Marriages collapsed. Anger grew. And the bottle kept pulling him deeper. By 1978, after entering his fifth marriage, Gig Young's private demons reached a devastating breaking point. What had once looked like fame, glamour, and Oscar night glory ended in tragedy. The cruel joke? Hollywood had rewarded him for playing broken men, but alcohol made sure he did not just perform the role, he lived it. William Holden. William Holden had the kind of screen presence Hollywood executives dream about. Cool, handsome, magnetic, and sharp enough to make every scene feel expensive. In classics like Sunset Boulevard and Stalag 17, he became the face of old-school American stardom, the man with the perfect smile, the perfect voice, and the dangerous charm of someone who always seemed one step ahead. But behind the movie star glow, Holden was fighting a much darker opponent: alcohol. By 1981, the bottle was no longer just a party guest. It had become a quiet threat inside his life. One night, inside his Santa Monica apartment, Holden had been drinking. Then came the fall. No stunt team, no dramatic music, no heroic comeback. Just a sudden accident, confusion, and a decision that would prove fatal. He did not call for help. That is the terrifying part. Alcohol does not need a speeding car or a packed bar to destroy someone. Sometimes it only needs a room, a moment, and a mind too clouded to understand the danger. For about half an hour, Holden was reportedly still conscious, but alcohol blurred his judgment. The man who once commanded the screen could not command the situation in front of him. Days later, he was found dead. Hollywood gave William Holden fame, awards, and immortality on film. Alcohol gave him a final scene no one wanted to watch. Chris Farley. Chris Farley was a human fireworks show. The moment he hit the screen, subtlety packed its bags and left town. On Saturday Night Live, he crashed through sketches with wild energy, huge laughs, and the kind of comedy that made audiences feel like anything could happen. In movies like Tommy Boy and Black Sheep, Farley became America's lovable hurricane, loud, physical, fearless, and impossible to ignore. But behind that exploding smile was a man fighting something far more dangerous than any comedy bit. Fame gave him applause. Hollywood gave him money. The party scene gave him an open door, and addiction walked right in like it owned the place. What began as fun, escape, and pressure relief slowly turned into a trap. The brighter Farley burned on screen. The darker things became off camera. By the end, his life was spinning through a deadly fog of alcohol, drugs, exhaustion, and loneliness. The same wild energy that made fans adore him could not save him when the danger became real. No laugh track, no studio audience, no buddy rushing in for a joke. Chris Farley died at only 33, a shocking loss that hit Hollywood hard. The cruel truth is that he made millions laugh while quietly losing control of his own life. Comedy made him a star, but addiction turned his final act into a warning. John Barrymore. John Barrymore was not just another Hollywood leading man. He was royalty with a spotlight, born into a legendary acting family. He carried the kind of face cameras worshipped and the kind of voice that could turn a simple line into theater. They called him the Great Profile. And honestly, Hollywood probably would have put that profile on money if it could. On stage, he was electric. On screen, he was elegant, powerful, dangerous in the way only old Hollywood stars could be. Audiences saw the charm, the beauty, the genius. But behind the polished image, something darker was waiting with a glass in its hand. Alcohol did not destroy Barrymore overnight. It worked like a slow villain, quiet, patient, and brutally effective. First, it became part of the legend, then part of the routine, then part of the damage. The routine, then part of the damage. His health began to fail. His career suffered. The glamorous man who once commanded theaters and movie screens found himself pulled deeper into isolation and physical decline. By 1942, the performance was over. Barrymore was found dead in his Hollywood apartment. The official cause was cirrhosis of the liver, tied to years of heavy drinking. The cruelest part? John Barrymore had the talent to be remembered only as a giant of cinema and theater. Instead, alcohol forced itself into the final paragraph of his story, turning a Hollywood legend into another warning written in whiskey and regret. Vern Troyer. Vern Troyer was living proof that a performer didn't need to be 6 feet tall to steal an entire movie. As Mini-Me in Austin Powers, he became instantly unforgettable, silent, sharp, hilarious, and strange in the best possible way. Every time he appeared on screen, the joke got louder, the scene got crazier, and Hollywood discovered that sometimes the smallest guy in the room could walk away with the biggest laugh. But off camera, the spotlight was not nearly as funny. Behind the fame, the red carpets, and the cult comedy status, Troyer was fighting a dangerous battle with alcohol. And alcohol is a cruel kind of villain. It doesn't care how beloved you are, how many fans quote your lines, or how iconic your character becomes. It waits until the cameras are gone, then starts rewriting the script. For years, Troyer openly struggled with drinking. His health became fragile. His private pain became public. And the party image slowly turned into something far darker. In 2018, after serious alcohol-related health problems, he died at just 49. The brutal irony? Vern Troyer made millions laugh by playing a character who seemed impossible to ignore. But alcohol pushed its way into the final act, louder than the applause, darker than the comedy, and far more dangerous than anything Hollywood could turn into a joke. Heath Ledger. Heath Ledger didn't just appear on screen, he haunted it. At only 28, he had the kind of talent Hollywood spends decades trying to manufacture and usually fails. In Brokeback Mountain, he carried silence like a weapon. In The Dark Knight, he stepped into the Joker and turned a comic book villain into something unforgettable, dangerous, and almost too real. Audiences weren't just watching him act, they were watching a star burn at full blast. But behind the applause, the premieres, and the Oscar buzz, Ledger was fighting a private war. Fame looked glamorous from the outside, but inside it came with pressure. insomnia, anxiety, and a body begging for rest. Hollywood loves a tortured genius until the torture stops being marketable. According to the article, Ledger struggled with alcohol and prescription medication while battling sleepless nights and emotional exhaustion. What began as an attempt to cope slowly became a danger zone. The lights got brighter, the roles got heavier, and the escape routes became more dangerous. Then came the final shock. Ledger was found unconscious in his New York apartment, and the world froze. No villain, no dramatic movie ending, just a young actor, too gifted, too exhausted, and surrounded by the consequences of choices that had turned deadly. Heath Ledger's story feels especially brutal because he was not fading, he was rising. But alcohol and pills do not care about talent, awards, or unfinished greatness. They don't wait for the sequel. Matthew Perry. Matthew Perry made sarcasm look like a superpower. As Chandler Bing on Friends, he didn't just deliver jokes, he fired them like bullets wrapped in insecurity, charm, and perfect timing. Millions watched him turn awkwardness into comedy gold, and for years, he looked like the guy who had Hollywood figured out. Fame, money, laughter, and a seat on one of the most beloved sitcoms in American history. But behind that famous smirk, the danger was already moving in. According to the article, Perry's battle began after a jet ski accident in 1997, when painkillers pulled him into a brutal spiral. Then came alcohol, pills, rehab, relapse, and the kind of private chaos no laugh track could cover. On screen. Chandler was quick, funny, and lovable. Off screen, Matthew was fighting a war with addiction that kept coming back like Hollywood's worst sequel. And the cruelest part? Fans were laughing with him while his body was quietly paying the bill. His weight changed. His health suffered. And even watching Friends became painful for him because every season reminded him of what he was using at the time. In 2023, Perry was found dead at his Los Angeles home, bringing a tragic end to a life filled with brilliance and struggle. Hollywood gave him applause, addiction gave him danger, and the bottle, as usual, showed up uninvited for the final scene. David Cassidy. David Cassidy was not just a TV star. He was a teenage dream factory with perfect hair, a golden voice, and a smile that could probably sell out an arena before breakfast, as the heartthrob of the Partridge Family. He lit up the screen like America's favorite clean-cut fantasy. Music, charm, applause, and millions of fans screaming his name. But fame has a nasty little habit. It hands you roses with one hand and temptation with the other. Behind the glitter, Cassidy was fighting a dangerous battle with alcohol. At first, it looked like the usual celebrity chaos: parties, pressure, bad nights, public mistakes. But the bottle was not just hanging around backstage. It was slowly taking control. From repeated DUI arrests to rehab attempts, his struggle became harder to hide. The polished performer fans remembered began to fade under the weight of addiction. Then came the painful warning signs. In 2017, during a concert in California, fans watched him stumble, slur, and forget lyrics. The teen idol who once seemed untouchable now looked painfully human, trapped in a fight he could not sing his way out of. By November 2017, David Cassidy was gone, his body broken down by liver failure after years of alcohol abuse. Hollywood had sold him as a dream. Alcohol turned the dream into a danger story, with the final note ending far darker than any fan ever wanted to hear. Michael Elphick. Michael Elphick had the kind of rugged screen presence Hollywood loves to pretend it invented, rough around the edges, charming without trying, and believable the moment he walked into frame. In the British TV series Boone, he became familiar, trusted, and memorable. The kind of actor who didn't need explosions or superhero suits to hold an audience. He had grit, he had timing, he had that working man charisma that made viewers feel like they knew him, but off-screen. A far more dangerous script was being written. According to the article, Elphick's long battle with alcohol began early and followed him through much of his life. At first, it may have looked like the usual actor's escape hatch: stress, fame, personal pain, and one more drink to take the edge off. But alcohol is not a loyal friend. It smiles at the bar, then sends the bill straight to your liver, your career, and your peace of mind. Personal loss only made the trap deeper. The death of his long-term partner pushed him into darker emotional territory, and drinking became a heavier shadow. He admitted how serious it had become, once saying he used to be drunk by 9 p.m. every night. The dangerous irony? Even when his life felt out of control, he tried to keep working, tried to stay professional, tried to prove the bottle had not won. But alcohol does not need permission to collect its debt. Over time, it damaged his body beyond repair, turning a respected actor's life into another brutal warning from behind the curtain.